Today I'm going to be taking a look at Robot Chicken to decide, was it actually funny? Now, Robot Chicken has never really been my first choice of something that I would want to watch, and that's primarily because I always know exactly what I'm getting myself into. Let's take this beloved character and make them do something so absurd, it's something they would never do. Mordecai Rigby, bro! You gotta help me, I got my dick stuck inside of a peanut butter jar! You gotta go to the Goon Lord and you gotta give him a handy to get me out, please, bro! You know? Stuff like that is really stupid, that it's either really funny or it's the stupidest thing that you've ever heard, you know? It's either really good jokes or really bad jokes just thrown into an episode. You get like 14 different segments, half of them are good, half of them are bad. So there has been moments where I watch Robot Chicken and I'm slapping my knees, laughing, having a dandy old time, and other times I'm questioning my reality. So I'm going to be taking a look at the best episodes, the worst episodes, and random episodes to get the full rounded picture on whether or not Robot Chicken is just objectively a funny show. If you like content just like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. I upload every single day. You don't want to miss it. Let's finally take a look at Robot Chicken. Taking a look at one of the best episodes in the series, one of the highest rated on IMDb, we have the episode Lust for Puppets, and it's pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be. Some really good jokes, some really good skits, followed up with just some absolute slop, but for the majority of the time, I was actually enjoying it. The first skit, however, wasn't really my cup of tea. It pretty much encompassed the journey that I was about to experience, really captures what Robot Chicken is all about, just that emotional storytelling that just invades into your heart and just teaches you everything you need to know about compassion, love, pride, joy, honor, all of that great stuff, with a cheerleader just singing out, loving her time, just like, oh, praise, the team was singing about praise, everybody look at me, I have a big fat penis, as she pulls up her dress and she has a cock, revealing that she is in fact having of penis. And that's the entire joke, and the entire time I was watching that, it was just a big old fat, so that wasn't the best introduction to the series I could have gotten, but going ahead, it did get a little bit better with a Montezuma joke, that big old guy who was ahead of a bunch of people, leading a nice tribe, leading a nice village, caring for people, and then some good old-fashioned conquistadors arrive and be like, we need your land, and start killing people mercilessly for no good reason other than, yes, we're white, yes, that makes us better. It's really, really fucked up. But they kill him. And he says, I will unleash revenge on you. And boy, oh boy, was he telling the truth, because he comes back and he says, revenge! And makes him shit his pants.
Montezuma, there shall be no revenge.
Revenge! And I kind of liked the joke initially. I was all for it. I was having a decent enough time. A man shit himself. I'm like, oh, doggy, hot dog. That's some good stuff right there. He made him poop himself. I sure hope I only have to see that joke once. No, they did the Montezuma making somebody shit themselves joke like a solid 8 times in the episode after this. He'll just randomly appear and be like, revenge! And then make somebody poop their pants. He's like the laxative demon, the laxative gobbler who's gonna find you in the middle of the night, just whisper in your ear, revenge, as you slowly just start producing excrement. It's not what I thought would be a main hindering joke for one of the best episodes in the series, but hey, here we are. So, what happens right after this is where the episode starts getting a little bit good. Calvin, Hobbs, that little boy and that tiger, they had their stories, their Sunday morning paper, whatever you want to call it. They had something to do in your life, possibly. Well, what if, you were looking down at Calvin and you were like, boy, you're a schizophrenic, boy. Because Calvin is a schizophrenic and Hobbs is not real. I like this story a lot, where Calvin is having these wondrous journeys with Hobbs, just going and doing all this fun stuff, as, it's slowly revealed that Calvin is talking to nobody except his plush tiger, and everybody's, starting to think that he's losing his mind a little bit, and I thought it was really funny to watch him just talk to the tiger, then there's nobody there, they take him to therapy, he's talking to the doctor about, what's going on, then the doctor's like, I'm Well, Calvin, it would seem that, you're not really talking to anybody right now. And Calvin's like, what do you know, Doctor? Hobbs, sick him, kill him. And then she's just imagining blood and guts everywhere and shit. Man, that was great.
Blood is everywhere! The vicious tiger shows no mercy.
I love watching Calvin spiral into madness. He gets shock therapy. That doesn't work because he begs and pleads for Hobbs to come back and talk to him. Hobbs returns, and Hobbs is like, Calvin, my boy. Oh, my boy. We need to kill your parents immediately, right now. Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Okay, so Calvin kills his parents. Of course, he had to. And then he pretends that he's going to Mars to escape them. And in reality, he's just sitting in a straitjacket inside of a mental facility.
Mars is amazing! Mars is amazing.
And wow, this was just a perfect story. It was everything I need. Honestly, for people who are starting to dwindle into madness a little bit, starting to think about killing people, just show them this robot chicken skit with Calvin and Hobbs, and maybe they'll be like, oh, this is so unbelievably relatable. Oh, yeah, I like that skit a lot. I thought it was a really funny take on Calvin and Hobbs. It shows what Robot Chicken is capable of doing when they have a really funny concept, a really funny idea. They could run with it and make it into something really interesting, because nobody would, look at a Calvin and Hobbs comic and immediately think, this boy, he must be hallucinating this fucking tiger. He wants to kill his parents. But then they turned into a really funny joke that was actually pretty dang enjoyable. So I was all for that. So we then go back to the just typical, nonsensical jokes like the Karate Kid. Nothing's ever gonna bring me down. And then he gets knocked down. Thrilling joke. And then we have another joke where a man is just pissing all over his boss. Yes, just releasing that golden yellow stream all over his boss's face, making him really earn it a little bit. And he says, so I take it you're putting in your 2 weeks now. Oh, let me drink a little.
Is it 2 weeks then? I see.
Yep, that's the entire joke. So again, it's just like a good mix of slop with some good actual storytelling. So we then cut to Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz. She's Fiona in Shrek. She's in other things like Charlie's Angels, all that good nonsense. And she's out to dinner with her boyfriend, having a wondrous, wonderful time. And then all of a sudden she passes out, flops down, and oh no, I'm Cameron Diaz. Oh, I have cancer. Yep. Because she has 99% cancer all over her body, and it's apparently from fake semen being poured on her. And I thought this one scene with her boyfriend was really funny, because her boyfriend clearly is like, oh, Cameron, I know you're dying, you have cancer and all, but can you bless me? Can you suck it? Please? And don't worry, baby, when you're dead, I'll find somebody else to love. You have nothing to worry about. And to be honest, I found that guy so unbelievably absurd that it was kind of a little bit funny. Everything else was just okay. Cameron Diaz goes to a bunch of different actors' house with a baseball bat and just starts beating their balls in.
Yeah?
For giving me cancer with your fake semen, Ben Stiller.
And if you're all for watching Ben Stiller get his balls crushed, then maybe it's your favorite thing. Maybe somebody's curling their toes, beginning to just chafe their nipples because they're just so excited. They're just like, ooh, Ben Stiller, I love that guy. Oh, I've always wanted to watch his balls get bashed in. Yeah, it's definitely just okay. Cameron Diaz then decides to go out in a blaze of glory, attaching a bomb to her chest and exploding, killing lots of paparazzi. She gets an entire statue, and the paparazzi get a toilet statue so that you could poop in it. Yep. Man, this show really likes feces and pooping, because, I haven't mentioned them all, but in between every single segment is a Montezuma joke where he's like, revenge, and then they shit their pants. I don't want to talk about those, but it genuinely is happening. I have to point that out. The entire Cameron Diaz segment was kind of just okay. The main highlight was a boyfriend saying, I'll find somebody else, baby. So that really just encompasses what it was all about. Just not that funny. Entertaining nonetheless, just not my favorite. Then going on to the next segment, they could have done something interesting with it, but it ultimately led exactly where I thought it was going to, with a father being like, that's my baby girl. No man is good enough for her, until she brings over the Frankenstein, specifically Frankenstein's monster, but of course everybody gets that wrong, so it's just Frankenstein. He's a big, meaty, greenish man who wants to love all up on his daughter. He's constantly like, and the father keeps shooting him. thinking that he's the bad man, that he's just trying to get at it. But with every single scenario, there's a reasonable explanation. Like in one scene, Frankenstein's like, pounding the daughter's tuna fish into oblivion. The father comes in, shoots him, and the daughter's all like, Daddy, we were just having sex. So that solves that problem. They end up getting married, but that's when the father learns that his name isn't just Frank, it's Frankenstein, and that, helps him put two and two together. He must be Jewish! No! And starts shooting Frankenstein nonstop because he's a Jew.
Frankenstein? He's Jewish?
And ultimately, I got sick of that joke after about 15 seconds. Not the end portion. I mean, it was kind of expected where it was going to go. I kind of had an inkling of where it was going to go. But watching just 2 minutes of him shooting Frankenstein for going, just wasn't my favorite thing in the whole world. So that's just another skit that I really wasn't a fan of. And then we just have a bunch more nonsense thrown in, a bunch of different clips, a bunch of Montezuma being like, revenge! Oh, I got to poop everywhere! Oh! Just doing all that nasty stuff. It's just great. So we then cut to my favorite part of the episode, and that is Mario and Luigi going to Vice City, which I think is just such a impeccable concept. I mean, who doesn't want to see Mario and Luigi going to a GTA city? So they go there in their cart, and they end up getting a flat tire. Oh no, Mario! What are we going to do? Oh, don't worry, Luigi! I have perfect answer! So they go inside of this, chop shop, and they get a pimped out ride, and they start just doing some shenanigans that you wouldn't really expect. Mario looks at some bricks, and he's like, oh, Luigi, I must jump and hit my fucking head on this brick. Oh, let me get to some cash. And he hits it and just starts snapping his neck. Yeah.
Mario!
That was beautiful. That was brilliant. That was everything I needed. And then Luigi just instinctively is like, oh my god, Mario, is that a fucking turtle? Just seeing a turtle. Just that killer instinct kicks in, just jumps on it and murders this lady's turtle.
It's a turtle.
So they get a wanted level and they gotta run away, and they find a hooker on the side of the street who's wearing some skimpy clothing, and Mario just letting that, demon loose, just like, oh my god, that must be the princess. Oh, get in the fucking car right now. Just kidnapping a woman because he needs that sweet succulent peach, if you know what I mean. So they have a wanted level, and then Mario's like, oh, I've been shot, because the police shoot him, and he's like, I need some mushrooms to heal immediately. And so the hooker takes him to some shrooms, and he takes some shrooms, and Mario gets high as shit, just unbelievably high, tripping sack.
Look, there's coins everywhere. I'm rich.
He doesn't know what to do, so he's just driving around, and he's like, Luigi! What the fuck is happening? I see coins everywhere! And again, this is where Robot Chicken can really shine, can really make me laugh, can really make me enjoy myself, because just the thought of Mario eating some psychedelic shrooms instead of some normal shrooms is just a really funny concept. Just seeing coins everywhere, driving everywhere, until they fucking crash into a wall, and that's when the cops, they have him pinned down. Luigi's holding a wrench, so they gun him down, shoot him into oblivion. Mario, you killed my brother! And he pulls out a gun, starts shooting everybody until they eventually gun down Mario, killing him as well.
You'll never take me alive, you mother...
And just, what a well-rounded story. Instead of Super Mario Galaxy, let's get Mario and Luigi go to Vice City, the full feature-length film, because, damn, that was beautiful. That was exquisite. And then they follow it up with an even better joke with our good old man, Yoshi! He's going to town, and he has a choice to make. And he could go to Vice City, or he could go to Raccoon City. Seeing the name Raccoon, Yoshi's like, Raccoon City! Oh, that's gonna be a fun time! And so he goes there, and then he gets brutally eaten and slaughtered by zombies.
Look, there's coins everywhere. I'm rich.
And that was a phenomenal way to end the episode. Overall, I had a really decent time. There were a lot of jokes in here that I didn't like. The Cameron Diaz one just made the episode feel flat. The Frankenstein joke made the episode feel flat. But the Calvin and Hobbes joke was amazing. The Mario and Luigi joke was amazing. So overall, those boost the episode. If I was to rate this episode 1 to 10, I would probably give it a solid 7 out of 10. It was definitely a little bit lackluster for a best episode, but it had a couple of scenes that genuinely made me laugh, so that's going to make it seem a lot better. Now taking a look at one of the worst episodes in the series, we have the episode The Legion of Super Gyros, and honestly, I didn't know Robot Chicken could be this unbelievably bad. This episode, if it were to have a smell, it would smell like Lizzo's ass cheeks after her third Supreme Gordita Crunch. It is just stanky as hell. It reeks to high heaven because this is just unbelievably dog shit in every way. The beginning of it was the only part that I liked throughout the entire episode, and it's literally E.T. like, E.T. Look at this M&M! And he doesn't like it because it tastes like a fucking Reese's Pieces, because who the hell wants to eat a Reese's Pieces over an M&M?
Oh, fucking gross, man. This isn't even close to an M&M.
Fight me on it. It's bullshit. Reese's Pieces are shit compared to M&Ms. Doesn't matter. I was on E.T.'s side. Everything after this was really bad. We cut to a Planet of the Apes parody where the monkey man, he's all like, oh my, I have to fuck a human, I have to stick my dirty, stinky, hairy ape cock inside of a woman. Yep, he sings a whole song about it, and then a human, the human in the movie starts singing about, I have to have sex with a monkey. I have to get up all inside of that monkey. You know, also singing about it, so they decide that they both want to do a dirty, nasty, stinky gangbang.
Obscene. I'm gonna fuck a human. What?
And I imagine this is how people rationalize their innate desires to, like, do bestiality. Like, oh, I know it's against everything in the books and the laws, but that rabbit over there, it's staring at me with its fluffy hair. You know, it's probably how they start rationalizing their disgusting innate desires. I hate it so unbelievably much. The best part of this entire sequence was how they refer to the human hog as a hairless skin flute. I personally would never refer to any creature's penis as a hairless skin flute. I don't look at a dog's penis when it's just sitting there when he wants a belly rub and go, look at that hairy little flute there. Yeah, that was just a little bit weird. I don't know. I feel like the writers were, you know, a little bit loopy on this one, and that's implied even more when we go over to the World War Z parody, where Brad Pitt injects himself with AIDS, and his first initial reaction is to start getting down and dirty and humping the zombies in response.
It's AIDS now.
Oh, geez, he's celebrating.
He starts taking more AIDS because he needs super AIDS, I guess. And in response, he starts drinking his own piss. Yes, thrilling comedy. Now, I don't really know what the, like, inclination or desire of, oh, this man has AIDS, let's have him drink his own piss and start humping things. I don't understand that joke. Maybe I'm missing the bigger picture. I'm not an AIDS researcher, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people with AIDS don't start drinking their own piss. It just seems a little bit out there, at least for me, so wasn't really a fan of that. Then we cut to Grover from Sesame Street, and he's like, oh, wow, Then we cut to Grover from Sesame Street, you know, the guy that's like, oh, hello, everybody, I'm going to help you learn things, oh, yes, oh, who is that? Oh, and he meets a really fat woman who's, like, pulsating with her big old belly, and they start going on a date, and then all of a sudden, Grover's like, oh, well, I can help you learn. She rips off all of her clothes and just starts cranking the bean, you know, petting that cat at the speed of light. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Why'd you even do that?
Hey, can Marco
Oh, yeah. Insult my parents.
And then, yippee, she does it again when they're sitting there counting apples, and then Grover's like, oh, I'm gonna eat this apple, and then she gets offended, so she starts masturbating vigorously. Why? What's funny? It's just so random. Then there's an entire sequence about an Indian love boat that was a waste of time. There's like one of the sloppiest, stupidest jokes about the Parent Trap that I've ever seen in my entire life. What happened before the Parent Trap? I don't like you anymore, bitch. I don't like you, bitch. Oh, let's separate our twins. We're gonna find out tonight who's the worst parent on the Parent Trap Part 2. Like, who the fuck cares? Why does it matter? It's not even a funny joke. They didn't even do anything interesting with it. They literally described that the parents got divorced and then took the children away and said, man, that's mean. And that's the entire joke of it. It was just so unbelievably awful. It's so boring. And then Benjamin Franklin, you know, he invented glasses, or like double lens glasses or whatever. He invites a whore over and he's like, oh, darling, oh, you're so ugly. Man, only if I wish I could see you through a different lens. So he invents glasses and then has sex with her. Yippee. And then we get an entire thing about Bruce Wayne and how he's dead, but he wants Alfred to see him in a very awesome way. And somebody on this writing team has an insatiable poop fetish that must be satiated at all needs. There has to be at least one woman just ripping that fat, stanky shit out of her ass cheeks in one episode, because Bruce Wayne, he's trying to meet up with Alfred. And he's trying to do like a dramatic, like, you know, we randomly see each other and we give ourselves that nod, like, yeah, you're still alive. And he's with Selena, and Selena really has to use the bathroom, and Bruce keeps saying no, and then she violently poops her pants.
I told you!
God damn it, Selena!
And that's the entire joke of it. Yippee! Nothing like some good old-fashioned poopening. Woo! That's exactly what I needed in my life. Oh dear, oh dear, dear, dear. So we then cut to the main, like, joke of the episode, which is a catfish parody, and ultimately it was also done really awfully. Inspector Gadget meets the person that's been hunting Inspector Gadget for a while, and then they hug, and it's all happy. We have Charlie's Angels meeting the person that is sending them on missions, and they look at him, and he looks like a Discord mod, and he's like, hello everybody, hello my kittens, please go on some more missions for me, and please tell me about the men you have sex with and how you do it, please, princess. Except he doesn't actually say all that. They see that he looks like a Discord mod, and that's it. That's the entire joke. Oh dear, we've been catfished. And then we get our last one with Noah's Ark, and apparently Noah's been getting catfished by God, which isn't actually God, it's just a dude with a megaphone. That's the entire joke. And then they rip off the catfish guy's head, and he's an actual catfish, so he starts going crazy. Wow. I don't know, this entire episode fucking sucked, like in every way. There wasn't a single moment that was great besides E.T. not wanting a Reese's Pieces. That is unbelievably bad. So many different jokes and not a single one landed. If I was to rate this episode 1 to 10, I would probably give it a solid, like, 2 out of 10. That was awful. Now taking a look at a random episode, we have the episode Black Cherry, and this one honestly also sucked. The beginning of it revolves around some children doing some good old-fashioned Mentos and Coke, except they actually eat Mentos and then drink the Coke, which is something that I've never seen or heard before. I wonder how that would actually feel inside of your stomach. Almost makes me want to try it in a way. Either way, this kid, he does it, and he starts, of course, farting violently because there is, again, somebody in that writer's room who is really into bodily humor. Specifically when it comes out of your ass cheeks, they just can't get enough of it. They need more of it, and they will do it in every single episode if they have to. So he starts farting vigorously all over the place, farting a little here, farting a little there. He's keeping up with the train, and the only part of the segment that actually made me laugh was this mom and child riding on this train, and they see the little boy farting out there. The mom doesn't see it, but the little girl's all like, mother, look! Oh my god, he's running as fast as the train! It's a little boy! And she just smacks him across the head and says, don't be fucking stupid. You don't get a birthday this year.
Train!
What did I tell you about being stupid? You don't get a birthday this year.
Okay. Jesus. It was just bad, you know? Nothing like a little domestic violence comedy to get me over the edge there. So he's farting vigorously for a long time, for like another 30 seconds, before it gets plugged with a baseball by a man, and then his head pops off, and that's the entire joke of that. Was that thrilling? Was that good to hear about? No? Yeah, well, you're just ready for some more slop, because there's just a bunch of even stupider jokes where NASA keeps ordering pizzas while they're in orbit. And because the pizza shop can't get into orbit, into space, they keep getting free pizzas. And that's the entire joke. That's what they use their budget on and their money on. So that sucked. And then we actually have a really good idea, which is what if Napoleon Dynamite, gosh, was actual Napoleon, like in history, like the French dictator. Which, that's a really cool and funny concept, but they just don't do enough with it. They have Napoleon just go, gosh! And then they have a battle, and all of his troops are losing, and he's like, I could have beaten everybody with my nunchucks, but I just don't want to. Like, it's funny. Like, you have a great concept going there. I would have been all for it. And then they just animate Napoleon hitting a little jig, hitting a little dance. And that's the entire end of that segment. I thought they were going to get so much more into it, do a little bit more. I don't know. It just felt a little bit lackluster, like it didn't hit for me. And then there's an entire segment of this guy kicking sand at a nerd, so he gets injected with steroids and then rips him in half. Again, just kind of lackluster. I just feel like they're doing the bare minimum here to get me to chuckle, to get me to laugh. They do another wondrous segment about a little boy who goes hunting, and they just show animals getting brutally murdered for a solid 2 minutes. And that's the joke. He just walks around with guns and just kills, claymation stop-motion animals for a very long time. And that's the whole comedy. That's the whole thing you're supposed to laugh at. And I'm just wondering, where's the punchline? Where's the setup? We are genuinely just animating a little boy murdering animals. I don't get it. Like, I don't care that the animals are dying. It's just, why not give him a little bit of puns, Like, guess you're gonna be bald, Eagle. And then he, gives him a nice little shave and then chops his head off. I don't know. I'm not the writer here. I'm not the comedian, but there's nothing here. It's just not that funny. Then we have an entire joke with George W. Bush and Bill Clinton, and Bill is partying on a plane on Air Force One with a bunch of women, and that's pretty much it. George W. Bush says to shoot it down, and my only reaction there was, geez, Bill looked like he was partying with some adult woman. If they wanted to make it a little bit more accurate, they should have made them all children, which is pretty fucked up, but still, accurate to say the least. And then we cut to a family at a diner. I don't really know what this is referencing. They're just sitting there eating a meal, and then the guy goes, ha ha, the only meat here that's real is the cockroaches. And then the wife throws up all over the table, the husband throws up all over the table, the chef throws up all over the table, and the dog starts licking it up. Is the comedy just them throwing up? Is that it? Is that what I'm supposed to laugh at? Is that what I'm supposed to be thrilled about? Is that what I'm supposed to be hitting a jig and clapping for? Because I'm just not. And then we get a bunch of, jokes with Seth Green, the creator of the show, talking to the vice president of Adult Swim, and he pours slime all over him. I don't know. This episode fucking sucked. There was just nothing here that was enjoyable, really. I don't think I genuinely liked any of these jokes. I don't think anything was good here. And again, I'm not gonna say Robot Chicken is a bad show. It genuinely is just what you land on, because they try so many different things throughout all the episodes that you're bound to laugh at something. But when you land on an episode like this, and it sucks that it's the random category, when it's just absolute shit, I'm not gonna like it. None of the jokes hit. All the parodies were awful. The parodies that had a lot of potential just didn't do good. So if I was to rate this episode 1 through 10, I would probably give it a solid 4, I guess. Not 3. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on a couple episodes of Robot Chicken. And honestly, even though I didn't like 2 of the episodes, obviously I looked at one of the worst episodes and a random episode, I wouldn't say that Robot Chicken is bad, because sometimes you do get segments like Mario and Luigi going to Vice City, like Calvin and Hobbes and Calvin being a schizophrenic, that are actually funny, that are actually enjoyable, and other times it just doesn't hit. There are a lot of episodes of Robot Chicken, and they're always doing social commentary, so it's just one of those shows that it kind of depends on the episode. It depends on your knowledge. It depends on how well you understand the stuff. Like a couple of the jokes, like the Sex in the City joke, for example. I have never seen Sex in the City, so maybe to a Sex in the City fan, they were, ooh, man, that's funny, because that's the exact opposite of what that show is. It just depends on your knowledge for these kind of shows. So is Robot Chicken funny? I'd say, if you're knowledgeable, half the time it's funny, half the time it's slop. It just genuinely depends on how much you know for it to actually be entertaining. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.